Harsh voices crashed down the hall, rustling through airy mumbles and sharp breaths. Oh my hell already! Grayson slung his wet coat, snow dripping from the slick fabric over the reception desk. Who was Dr. Gill chomping his teeth at now? Grayson stepped down the clinic's hallway and caught the familiar scent of cheap perfume mixed with cigarette smoke. Janie? What was she doing here? Grayson quickened his pace and pushed through the office door. Why do you care so much, Dr. Gill? An older man with a devious stare sat in his office chair, lips puckered into a kissy scowl. Can we at least agree that she's dead? Translucent whispers of black hair floated out of place as Janie bit into her bottom lip. Would you just listen to me? Who's dead? Grayson asked. Jenny's face softened and her shoulders relaxed. Gray. All 50 shades. Dr. Gill adjusted his glasses. You're late. Dr. Gill hadn't updated the medical office since the clinic was built 50 years ago. The floor peeled, yellow fluff spewed from the corner of the examination bed, and the room smelled like a cabinet of expired spices. It was disgusting and outdated, just like Dr. Gill. What happened? Grayson asked. Who's dead? Tears glazed Janie's eyes. It's Mom. Greta? Dr. Gill rolled his chair to the side, revealing a metal table and a sheet-covered corpse. Janie, I'm so sorry. Grayson touched Janie's bony shoulder, and she melted into him, pressing her nose into his chest. How did it happen? He doesn't know, Janie said. Dr. Gill drew a pen from his pocket and clicked it. Janie, can Dr. Grayson have a look at your mother? Please, Janie said. I'd love a second opinion. On what? Grayson asked. Cause of death. Dr. Gill dragged his chair across the office like a mutt wiping its ass on the carpet. He held out a clipboard. Janie, with all her medical expertise, doesn't agree with me. Who could blame her? Grayson snagged the clipboard. Female, 57, treated in Arkansas. Small bruises up and down both arms, possible pinching, signs of minor frostbite on feet and ankles. Show gray. Slight bruising on arms, slight frostbite. Found dead. Sleep. Brown, slight yellow tint. Brown gray, 165, 54. And then sleep exhaustion. That's stupid. Sleep exhaustion is a leap, Grayson said. What about a bad reaction to medications? Mom didn't take pills, Janie said. None that we know of, Dr. Gill said. Mom didn't take pills, not over or under the counter. Do we have her records? Grayson asked. Any pre-existing conditions, allergies, surgeries? Mom was healthy. Of course she was, Dr. Gill said. That's why she's alive and dancing around my office. That's a dick. This is Janie's mother you're talking about, Grayson said. Can you pretend to have some respect? I'll try. Dr. Gill sunk into his chair. The only health concern we know of is a severe lack of sleep. That's my diagnosis. However, this has become a point of tension as Janie claims that dying from sleep exhaustion is impossible, and it's not. And with all her experience waitressing at the Three Rings, how can I contend with her? God, he's a dick. How severe was the lack of sleep? Grayson asked. Janie's eyes darted to the floor. Mom usually slept fine. It was just this last week that she couldn't sleep. An entire week? Mom finally slept last night. You can't die from sleep exhaustion after a full night of rest, right? Grayson cringed. Not sleeping for a week is deadly. Boom, Dr. Gill said. Your boyfriend agrees with me. No. Janie's eyes deepened as they scanned Grayson's face. I need you to trust me. There's something else wrong with Mom. That was obvious. Stay awake for a week. You either had something wrong with you or you're attempting to get into the Guinness Book of World Records. Did we do a COVID test? Grayson asked. Don't talk about COVID, Dr. Gill said. Oh, it's all choking on mask. Fucking dumbasses. Is this funny to you? Janie asked. Are you playing some sick guessing game? Dr. Gill swiveled in his chair, his face blank and uninterested. My dear, guessing games are all doctors know how to do. That's what you do. Janie swiped her purse off the floor and flung it over her shoulder. We should have stayed in Anchorage. Mom would still be alive if she had proper medical care. She'd still be alive. She took some naps. Oh, God, this Dr. Gill's a dick. I hate you. Shame. Blood flushed in Janie's face. I hope you die in your sleep, and everyone in Trenton makes it into a big joke. Grayson squeezed Janie's hand. The ceiling lights buzzed as Dr. Gill cleared his throat. Could you wait outside, Mr. Tanner? Dr. Gill smiled. I'd like to talk with our resident doctor alone. No, I'm not waiting. I'm going home. Even better. Janie touched Grayson's cheek and kissed him. Come see me. Get some rest, Grayson said. We'll talk soon. Jenny glared at Dr. Gill, found a time before stomping down the hall. Grayson shut the office door and sighed. Did you undergo any sensitivity training while in medical school? Dr. Gill scooted back to Greta's corpse. Sometimes being insensitive is being sensitive. Being insensitive is being sensitive. He tucked his pen under the sheet and unveiled Greta's head. Worn wrinkles solidified in Greta's dead, putty face. Pale skin stretched smoothly across her cheekbones, reflecting the ceiling's sickly light, and her eyes sunk unevenly into her sockets. Have a peek. Dr. Gill used his pen like a medical quill, shifting through Greta's hair. See that? Grayson tucked the clipboard under his arm and leaned closer. Crusted blood dripped from a crescent-shaped gash on Greta's scalp. What is that, Dr. Grayson asked. It's a gash. I don't know. Dr. Gill said. There are 5 in total, forming a circular pattern around her scalp. Besides these, there's no other wounds on her body. Could this be the cause of her death? No, these cuts aren't deep enough. No damage to the skull, no bruising. Dr. Gill pulled his pen back, letting Greta's hair fall over her scalp. What do you think? There's no bruising after she died. Grayson narrowed his eyes. Greta hit her head on something. What? I don't know. What a fountain of knowledge you are, Dr. Gill said. The congealing blood tells us that Greta's wounds were near the time of her death, yet these cuts are not deep enough to have killed her. Do you think she was murdered? Maybe. Dr. Gill tapped the pen to his chin, but I don't know how or why. It was Alaska, the serial killer capital of the world. Something about the snow and wind put people in a murderous mood. Grayson had felt it. He wanted to kill Dr. Gill since arriving in Trenton. I think you need to poke around town, Dr. Gill said. It's not for doctors to do. Me? You. Dr. Gill slid the clipboard from Grayson's arm, searched Greta's house. He scribbled crude summaries as he spoke. Looked for pills and any 5-pronged murder weapons. Talked to Chief Carter. He transferred Greta's body and cleaned her pockets. I'm not talking to Carter. Grayson leaned against the wall. Why? He's an ass. So is Dr. Gill. So are you. I'm a doctor, not a detective, Grayson said. Send in a blood test and see what comes back. Lazy, lazy, lazy. Dr. Gill massaged the loose flesh on his forearm. Do you want a poor evaluation? Grayson pulled aside. Failure to follow protocol. Protocol? Grayson scoffed. Sleeping around someone's house is protocol? Failure to show initiative. Failure to listen to a superior. Failure to learn. Failure as a doctor. Dr. Gill clicked his tongue. After I submit your evaluation, the Alaskan Medical Board won't trust you to wipe an elderly's ass. No one on the medical board will take you seriously. Who could? Want to find out? Dr. Gill raised the clipboard, or do you want to help me find Greta's cause of death? Grayson stared at Greta's stretched face. She looked just as haggard dead as she did alive. Fine. You report this fucker. Grayson said, I'll look around, but not because you told me to. I'll do it for Janie. Adorable. Dr. Gill continued scribbling on the clipboard. Leanna, the school teacher, she was Greta's best friend. You could try talking to her as well. Anyone else, boss? Grayson asked. You want a coffee while I'm out? 2 more. Mayor Cassandra and Scarlett, the airport lady. Why them? They host a little wellness group in town, Dr. Gill said. They focus on sleep wellness. Greta was a member. An odd coincidence. That is odd. Agreement. Dr. Gill stood and stuffed the scribbled paper into Grayson's hand. Let me know what you find. Grayson peeled the scribbled paper open. I'll take the whole week to talk with all these people. It'll take a whole week to talk to all these people. Then you have to decide who's most important. Dr. Gill opened the door and stepped into the hall. Don't be so grumpy. You help me find what killed Greta, and I'll write the most dishonest, positive, glowing evaluation I can. And if you fail, well, Dr. Gill smiled, you make a below average phlebotomist. Well, Dr. Gill is not a good doctor. Sun represents the number of places you can visit each day. Choose wisely. I think the people running that sleep wellness thing should be first. son. So let's see. Leanna and Greta were best friends. I wonder if she noticed anything. Cassandra ran the wellness group Greta was a part of. What do they teach in their group? Police department. He might actually be best first. The cops picked Greta's pockets. What did they find? Carter hates me, but I still need to talk to him. Yeah, well, Carter hates you, my bet. Someone needs a good job. And then Scarlett's a member of the wellness group Greta was a part of. What do they teach in their group? Actually, Scarlett or Carter. You know what? We're gonna go Carter. Oh, Lord. An enema filled with pepper spray would be more pleasant than saying a single word to Chief Carter. Janie and Carter had dated pretty seriously. He had a cheap ring picked out and everything until Grayson came to Trenton. Well, I could see why if he cheated. Took 2 weeks for Janie to dump Carter and 1 more week until she and Grayson were kissing under bridges. Under bridges, you're adults. Carter's anger made sense, but Janie could date whoever she wanted, and in a town like Trenton, who could blame her for drooling at a bit of fresh meat? A doctor over a cop, more money. The police station was a mud-colored building surrounded by lumpy snow. Grayson grabbed the door handle, held his breath, prayed for Carter's absence, and walked inside. Black curtains clung to the windows, and long tube lights buzzed from the ceiling. 2 wooden desks, cut and scratched, rested against the wall. "Hey, Doc." Officer Dyer, a kid with sharp cheeks and yellow teeth, spun in his office chair. You ever heard of a toothbrush? "Hello, Grayson." "Hello." Grayson scanned the room. No sign of Carter. Prayer answered. Faith restored. "How are you?" Dyer asked, smiling wide. He was like a puppy, so excited anytime someone came through. "I'm fine." "You hear about Miss Tanner? Isn't that awful? What was she like? Like 57? That's too young. My mom, 60-something, is still trains for marathons. Isn't that crazy? But it comes out of nowhere. You know what I mean, man. 57 is way too young." "I heard." Grayson blinked. "I'm here to talk about her." "Didn't know her well, but we can talk." Dyer gestured to an empty office chair. "You can sit in the chief's chair." "Thank you." Grayson cleared his throat. "Where is Carter?" "He's in the bathroom." Dyer's smile vanished and his voice dropped to a whisper. "Oh, yeah, I forgot. The chief loves your guts so much he wants to pull them all out. You know what I mean." Yikes. Grayson touched his stomach. "That's a lot of love." "Too much, man, too much." Dyer glanced at a clock on the wall. "I think he's in for a crapper. He poos 30 minutes at a time. We see a doctor." What are we at now? 15? Alright. Grayson plopped in the chair. "Let's make this quick. You transported Greta's body to the clinic, correct?" "Sure." "Have you ever been fishing?" "Yeah, but?" "You know how when you pull a fish from the water, it gets hard like a wet chunk of wood?" Dyer held up an imaginary fish. Her body was like a whole sack of hard, dead fish. "Okay, did you notice anything unusual?" "She stunk like bad breath," Dyer said. "I thought she'd smell more like roadkill." Oh, these peoples. Can you take this seriously?" Dyer straightened. "I am." "Did Greta have anything on her?" "Sure, we picked her pockets and bathroom door banged against the wall." Chief Carter's eyes shrunk into sharp little beads. "Mr. Grayson?" He tugged at his utility belt and stepped across the room. "Chief Carter?" Grayson nodded. "Who are you?" Carter extended his hand to Grayson. Whiffed flowery hand soap. Carter was a beast of a man with a voice so coldly smooth it was like a shot from a hypodermic needle. "Fine." Grayson took his hand. "Good to hear," Carter said, growling like a dying engine. "I'm in your seat," Grayson said. "Let me move." "You're fine right where you are." Carter tucked his tongue into his top lip. "What do you want?" "He's here about Miss Tanner," Dyer said. "We were talking about how terrible it was." "It broke me up," Carter said. "Miss Tanner and I were close. I spent a lot of dinners at her house. I'm guessing you didn't know her too well." "Nope," Grayson said. "I usually spend the evenings at Janie's house." Ouch. Carter's left cheek flinched. "How'd Miss Tanner pass?" "We're unsure," Grayson said. "Unsure?" Carter rolled the word around his mouth. "Unsure. Well, I'm unsure of what you're doing here." "Trying to find out how Greta died." "Are you technically still in medical school, or have you graduated?" "I have a medical degree. I'm a doctor." "Then why are you asking us about Miss Tanner? Aren't you supposed to figure that out, doctor?" "You are correct." Grayson smiled with a heavy helping of hatred. And as a police officer, aren't you supposed to keep records, hold evidence, things like that? Are you telling me how to do my job? Someone has to. Dyer winced. Carter's lips curled back, revealing a line of shining teeth and jagged canines. You just want to suck all the life out of this town, don't you? You're a leech stuffed so bad that you're dripping. You're not getting a bit of blood out of this department. Hey, Chief. Dyer started raising a shaking hand, but Carter cut him down with one sharp glare. We've got nothing for you. Carter jerked his finger toward the door. Stay warm, Mr. Grayson, and get the hell out of my chair. Okay, Grayson said. I'll go as soon as you hand over everything you got from Greta. Carter stepped closer, his chest inches from Grayson's. We don't have anything for you. You sure? I'm always sure. I have something, Dyer said with a squeak. Carter stepped towards Dyer, eyes blazing. Dyer shrunk back. It's about Miss Tanner. I'm talking, Carter said. Shut your mouth. What is it? Grayson asked. You can tell me. It's what a call I got 2 nights ago, Dyer said. Greta was walking down Badger Street at 11 p.m. Do you remember that, Chief? I told you about it. What was she doing? Grayson asked. Walking in the snow, freezing. Mr. Seth McClure called it in. He was trying to coax her back home when I arrived. You didn't tell me this, Carter said. Where's the report? I didn't file one, Dyer said. Why would I? Nothing happened. What did you do? Grayson asked. I tried talking to her, but she was quiet when I arrived. Mr. McClure claimed she was spitting nonsense. Dyer's eyes shifted from Carter and Grayson. According to Mr. McClure, Miss Tanner said she was going to hang her mother, or something like that. Oh. I gave her a ride home, and she almost fell asleep in the back of the patrol car. Almost? Grayson asked. She was awake when I dropped her off. That's enough. Carter straightened his utility belt. Miss Tanner's just died, and you're already spreading slander. Dower lowered his head. Thank you, Grayson. Thank you. Grayson backed towards the door. Maybe I'll talk to Mr. McClure about it. You do that, Carter said. A burst of frigid air flooded inside as Grayson opened the door. Chief Carter? What? Janie says hi. Ouch. Grayson slammed the door and stepped into the snowy street. Alright. So, Janie, check on Janie. Maybe she's more something useful about Greta. Nah, we'll do that later. Seth, Greta acting strange. What did you see? I don't know if I want to... Ugh, fuck deal. Let's go see Scarlet. Hello? Grayson's voice echoed through the hangar as he slid the door shut, iron grinding on iron. Grayson reached around a metal beam and flicked a light switch. Hanging bulbs flickered to life, illuminating 4 small planes. On the other side of the hangar, a door to a corner office hung open, bleeding a wound of orange light. Grayson walked across the room, his shoes crunching against bits of gravel dragged in from the runway. He stopped in front of a 185, the same plane his father owned. Oh, he's got money. Of course he's got money. Grayson touched the propeller and closed his eyes. He could remember it. The taste of burning fuel, the engine growl, and the steering wheel vibrating in his hands. Scarlet? Grayson's feet clicked against the concrete as he approached the office door. Rust dripped from a dark blue filing cabinet, and 2 oily chairs sat on either side of a plastic desk. Dusky photos of planes and pilots hung crookedly on the wall. Scarlet's not here. Grayson glanced over his shoulder. Scarlet would chop his head off with a whirling propeller if she discovered him snooping around. It would be best to come back later. Grayson stepped back, but stopped, noticing a strange book on Scarlet's desk. Silver stars decorating the book's cover, and the leather bounding made it look like a wizard's tome. Maybe it was. Grayson pulled the book towards him. He'd be fast. Scarlet didn't have to know. Dream interpretation, the guide that helps you understand your dreams. Thomas Packer. What's it next? Thin, transparent pages crinkled as Grayson turned the book's cover. It was a sort of dictionary, with each entry explaining the relevance of seeing specific objects while dreaming. Assorted topics include scorpions, the number 7, and shackles. Kinky. A rabbit's ear scarred the corner of one of the pages. What had Scarlet been reading? Oh, creepy. Shadow of darkness. Distrust. A shadow may represent someone you don't trust or something within yourself that you do not trust. Have you had any recent encounters with betrayal or dishonesty? Have you been dishonest with yourself? A dark figure. Seeing a dark figure is often a sign of sleep paralysis. See page 132. A dark figure can also be an indicator of a haunting from loved ones who have passed or an accumulation of negative energies. God, it's right up there with the zodiac shit. Dripping darkness. Shadows dripping from surfaces such as ceilings or walls signify that a hostile force may have marked you. Consider hanging charms or participating in an energy cleanse. Grayson slammed the book shut. How could Scarlet buy into this garbage? Books like this are poison, and it wasn't the only one. Text about dreaming, sleeping, wellness, and guides for starting your own business cluttered Scarlett's desk. Did she think she was going to commercialize this little wellness group? The office light hummed, and the metal walls rattled from the screeching wind outside. Grayson reached for another book when the clang of metal slamming against metal echoed through the hangar. Shit, Scarlet was back. Grayson replaced the book, and his eyes darted around the room. The office only had one exit, not even a little window he could slither out of. But why did Grayson need to escape? It was fine. This was Scarlet. He could manage Scarlet. Grayson held his breath and grabbed the doorknob. It would be better to meet her halfway than be caught red-handed. Grayson opened the door, and darkness flooded the hangar. Someone turned off the lights. Ooh. Scarlet. Grayson flickered a light switch by the office door, and the office light turned off. Shit. He flipped the switch again, but the lights remained off. What the hell? Grayson growled as he flipped the switch repeatedly. Did he blow a freaking fuse? Something wet and spongy slapped against the hangar's concrete floor. Grayson froze. Scarlet? A heavy silence hung in the air. Grayson's eyes narrowed as they tried carving through the thick darkness. Scarlet, are you there? Hey, Scarlet. He cleared his throat.